What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So, the question remains, is 1090 Jake a snitch? And was he snitching? So, a lot of y'all may be scratching y'all head wondering, who the hell is 1090 Jake? 1090 Jake is a young Caucasian man who spent half of his life in Massachusetts, the other half of his life in Florida. I believe he said he's been in Florida since he was like 13 and up, and the other parts of his years from a toddler, from an infant to 13, he was in Massachusetts, which is why he has this weird accent. When you hear him talking on like his YouTube channel, I believe it's called End of Sentence. When you hear him talking on that channel, he sounds like he got a Boston accent. And then when you look at videos of him in his younger years, it sounds like a Boston accent mixed with like a Florida accent, which is kind of crazy. It just sounds a little crazy, right? But nonetheless, man, he has experienced a meteoric rise in media. In YouTube land, in media, he's been getting interviewed by like Adam 22. Recently, he just went up to Vlad TV. Vlad TV just started posting clips from the interview that he did with him. He's risen to fame. And his channel is dedicated to revealing who are the snitches in the rap game. Who are the rappers that talk about street stuff, but they doing a whole lot of snitching, so on and so forth, this, that, and the third. And he has revealed a lot of people, or accused a lot of people of snitching, right? He brings up documentation, interrogation footage, so on and so forth. You saw him calling Boston Richie, a Florida artist, another Florida individual, calling him a snitch with interrogation videos, so on and so forth. You seen him pull up videos of like people from Young Thug's case. You seen him talk about people like trying to think who else he had. What's the boy name? 03 Greedo, I believe is it 03 Greedo? Yeah, 03 Greedo or something like that, talking about him and his case and all of that. He's trying to lay it out about every different rapper you can think of and if they're snitching or if they're not, right? And so what happened is today it was revealed that when he was in jail, because 1090 Jake is he's white, but he's a blood, right? And so, you know, he claims to be a real street dude, a real street individual. Like, he's not a civilian by any stretch of the imagination from out of his own mouth. He was a street dude getting arrested, living a wild life. And when he was in jail, because he spent time in prison, it was a situation where he got into a scuffle. A dude allegedly hit him in the back of the head with something, some asphalt or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but it's something along the lines of that. It was a whole situation in jail. After, you know, this whole situation happened, I guess a scuffle happened after that, I believe, or something else happened. Nonetheless, right? The dude hit 1090 Jake with some asphalt or something. They both end up going to the hole, right? The CO, he said the CO saw the situation play out. They knew what happened or whatever. When he gets sent to the hole, 1090 Jake wrote a statement, which is what he calls a grievance. He wrote a grievance in jail where he claims to have been assaulted by another inmate. He say all he was trying to do was defend himself, and then he names the aggressor in the situation, right? Now, I'm not a street dude by any stretch of the imagination. I went to school, stayed in my books, lived a regular life. I work a job. So I really don't care who's snitching at all, nor do I really just ready to call out snitches on my platform. That's not what I do. But what I'm trying to point out is the hypocrisy in the situation. Because when he got called out for this and they're like, oh my God, you gave a statement telling people who your aggressor was. You basically saying you were trying to defend yourself. And you basically was saying dude was assaulting you. And he gets on camera and he says basically like, hey, he trying to explain it. The police, I didn't get nobody in trouble in jail. I didn't get nobody sent to the hole. The CO already saw what happened. They saw it already take place. And I was just filing a grievance or whatever, right? Because I'm assuming he didn't want to be in the hole because from what I hear, the hole is very it's not a good place to be. Even though you could be by yourself and away from inmates who could be dangerous or whatever, a lot of people don't like the solitary confinement because it can drive you crazy being in there by yourself all day long, right? And so, but in his situation, he say basically, and I'm paraphrasing, he didn't get nobody in trouble. He didn't get nobody sent to the hole. So how was that snitching? The CEO saw what happened verbatim. How was that telling? How was that telling? Now, my problem is this, right? I'm not here to call him a snitch or not. My problem is that, you see, nuance only seems to matter in his situation. When other rappers get accused of telling, 1090 Jake don't care about the nuances, the circumstances of the situation. He don't care about the circumstances, the allegations, none of that. It's all, did you tell? Did you reveal the person's name? Did, all this and all of that, right? It's just, did you tell on the person? Did you tell? Did you bring that up? Did you bring this up? Did you tell somebody was doing something to you? Did you name who was trying to do something to you? And he did that, right? And so now I don't like the fact that, he's made all of this money on calling other people snitches and all these other street dudes snitches because he's trying to tell a lot of the kids that look up to these rappers that these rappers be lying. They not who they say they are. They live these false identities. They live, they have a false bravado. Their whole image is a facade. But if your channel was to talk about people who snitching, and you say, you telling, you corroborating is telling, wouldn't this technically be the same thing? And other people have tried to explain certain stuff in their situations. He ain't trying to hear it out. He ain't really trying to care about no nuances or nothing like that. I don't like that nuance only matters in his situation. When he is the person who's getting accused of being a snitch, when the snitch allegations come on his name, now the circumstances matter. When he's involved. And to me, nah. That is what I don't respect that. I don't like that though. Because when it comes to other people, when they tell and they telling on who did it, and to him, he don't matter who seen it, who already seen it, or nothing. You telling, you giving a statement, that's snitching, that's snitching. If this was somebody else, I believe he would be calling it snitching, right? But because it's falling on him and he has to clear his name from this whole situation, he's trying to say, how is that snitching? How is that snitching? He's trying to explain the whole situation, trying to give circumstance. I don't like when other people are in these other situations that they got going on. The circumstances don't matter to him. The nuance, there's no nuance in it. What did you tell or did you not? Okay, I'm sure he would probably call Frank Lucas a snitch for telling on the police. All right, because we seen American Gangster, he told on the police and all that, right? I'm sure if other people, some other person got assaulted and the police seen it, if he gave a statement, they gonna be like, oh no, you told though. You're a street dude. You're not supposed to be telling. Keep your mouth shut. So now it just looks funny in the light, man. And that's what you gotta, when you base your whole channel about revealing who a snitch is and people snitching, you gotta make sure your name is clean and that you don't have any dirt on your name. And what's crazy is that his opposition, people that he's into it with, people who he got real beef with, they've been trying to reveal him as a snitch for a while, right? And the prior allegations didn't seem to stick. They didn't hold up. People really didn't respect it and didn't care. But this one is a time where it's like, okay, now you see that he got an actual statement. He's telling who did something to him. He was saying he was just trying to defend himself, and he names the person, right? He says exactly what happened. And that's where it can come back to bite you. So you got to make sure when you out here dedicating your whole channel to telling on who's snitching, that you don't got that dirt on your name either. Because it can easily flip back on you and have you in a situation where you just looking crazy. You know what I mean? And now you got to explain yourself, to the court of public opinion. And nobody in the court of public opinion, hey, when you get to the people, they can do whatever they want with it. And they can determine if you rise or fall because you've been basically making other people fall with the snitching claims. So of course they're gonna want to make you fall. It's other people. I bet you it's other rappers that he's exposed. They can't wait to get on his head. They can't wait for this to be on him because, you trying to put and what's crazy is that now somebody else is going to reveal that the whole Boston Richie situation, right? But I'm sure Boston Richie's career has taken a strong hit from it. He got songs with reputable artists, like people who are revered street artists like Lil Durk, Future, so on and so forth. And them people ain't going to want to collaborate with him no more. And again, it could, 1090 Jake, somebody else could have revealed it too. So it is what it is. But he didn't mess up that young dude's bread. So now I'm sure Boston Richie gonna take solace in knowing that, hey, your bread might be messed up. But what's crazy is I don't think it's really gonna affect 1090 Jake because he ain't rapping. And even the people who rapping, sometimes it don't really affect them if they make good enough music, or if they make good enough music, or if they just that controversial, people still gonna tune in. Look at 6ix9ine. Look at the Gunna situation, right? I don't know what's snitching or not in that situation, but a lot of people call him a snitch. And his album still went crazy. People still loved it. People were still listening to it. still vibing to it and still playing it. All on their Instagram stories, Snapchat stories, all of that, bumping it on Twitter. I've just seen it. So, you know, man, it's just ironic, man. You got to be careful when you throwing stones and you live in a glass house. Because at some point, somebody going to find a big enough boulder to throw through your shit, to crash your shit in. Because you live in a glass house too, you know? So, yeah, to me, though, I just don't like how the nuance only matters when it comes to him. Everybody else, shit, he's a snitch, he's snitching, he telling. But when it comes to him, oh, not me, though. Not me. Not me, y'all. Not me, you guys. Listen here. And what's crazy is that 1090 Jake looked like Bobby from King of the Hill. Y'all ever watch King of the Hill? He looked like the son on the show, Bobby. He looked like a thug out Bobby, like a street. If Bobby would have turned to the streets and would have started hanging around street dudes and all that, that's who 1090 Jake really looked like, for real. But yeah, man, if you doing stuff like that, you got to be careful about what's on your name and what people can have on you when you dedicate your whole channel to revealing that other people are snitching. Machiavelli Mills TV, y'all let me know what y'all feel about this video in the comment section below. Y'all hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Peace.